Week 3 tested everything I thought I knew about change, sustainable change, and weight loss setback. The gym closed, a family crisis peaked, and I had to face a pattern that's haunted me for decades. But sometimes the biggest obstacles reveal the most important lessons. I started this YouTube channel for accountability, something to keep me focused on weight loss and to show others who might be in similar situations that we are not alone. What initially pleasantly surprised me about starting the channel was how steep the technical climb distracted me from food. Camera angles, editing, storing footage, it's a whole new workout for the brain. And along with my hunger dragon hormones, this activity helped distract my habitual thoughts from food. But this past week, I also learned it can cut both ways. I got so caught up in learning the tech and setting up systems in between creating content and trying to catch up on content because the first video took me 12 days to complete. So I'm behind. And I just never stopped at a reasonable hour this week. I ignored my soft butterflydares, even though increasing body aches affected me and were letting me know to take a break. Sharp thoracic pain, the kind that comes from stress and overwork at a keyboard. It was a painful reminder that ignoring one's inner wisdom to stop pushing so hard has consequences. Then, just when I was worn thinnest, a family member made a cruel comment that triggered an old urge in me to prove myself by doing more, even though my body was screaming for me to stop. I heard that quiet knowing, though, that butterfly dare. What boundary does your body need you to honor today? By the end of the week, I added work boundaries to my tracking, my daily tracking. Nothing complicated, just a yes or no at the end of the day. Did I stop work when I said I would? And that tiny shift gave me back a sense of calm and control. Turns out protecting my limits is just as important as tracking my sleep or how many minutes I weight trained. But life stress wasn't done with me yet. The gym had been closed for the second week in a row, which meant I had to get creative again with movement. And what I ended up doing was walking more, walking longer. It worried me a bit. My knees and ankles had been painful and wobbly only a couple of weeks before, and I didn't want to accidentally overwork them. So my cardio suffered, but sometimes good enough really is good enough. On top of that, I had to drive my daughter to a medical procedure. It was an hour away, right through Denver rush hour traffic. By the time we got home, I was completely exhausted. And I'll be honest, a part of me worried, is all this stress this week spiking my cortisol, undoing all the progress I've made so far? But here's what surprised me. Being flexible actually served me better than trying to keep doing it all. Instead of powering through as usual, I shifted gears and I gave myself permission to take a break from creating content for a week. A whole week when I'm already 4 weeks behind. But using that time instead for me to iron out all the technical system hurdles relieved my mental bandwidth. And in the end, it felt good to do that, adapt my schedule instead of trying to press on and risk abandoning my practice because of undue stress. And the stress still isn't over, but that tiny shift, choosing flexibility over perfection, kept me moving forward. Despite all the stress of the week, I stayed steady. I kept up with my eating and non-eating schedules. I stayed on top of hydration and sleep and even my daily habit tracking. So at weigh-in, I was down 2.5 pounds, an encouraging surprise, but a bigger win was still waiting. I took Gigi for a nice outing at the end of the week at the nature ponds outside of town on Saturday. And for the first time in ages, I had no knee pain walking those trails. And not only that, I doubled my distance. I made it halfway to my old friend, an ancient, beautiful cottonwood tree. I used to walk to him all the time and lately have seriously wondered if I'd ever get to touch him again. Now, with the visit to the ponds this week and what I achieved, I can't wait to introduce you to him when I finally make it there. Maybe later this month, certainly by next month. I'm still cautious about my knees, but so far so good. And just getting closer to that majestic tree felt like I was finding my own way back to strength. Walking back to the car while Gigi and I sat and enjoyed the wide vista of the Front Range, I caught sight of geese returning. They'd been away for months, and it struck me, gazing up at them in their flight, that I feel like I'm returning too. The sweetest part of all was knowing that this progress and the peace I felt didn't come during an easy week. It came smack in the middle of stress, pain, and exhaustion. Progress showed up right in the thick of it. And so, after being recently so feeble that I thought I'd need a walker, this was a vivid reminder that I am stronger than I realize and stronger than the week I just walked through. How about you? Have you ever had a week that felt overwhelming, but still held a moment of unexpected progress? I'd love to hear your stories. Let's nourish each other with our stories. Okay, so week 3, I ended the week at 226.4 pounds, which is a 2.5 pound loss. My expectation for myself is to weekly release 2 to 2.5 pounds, and I didn't think I'd make it this week. 9.8 pounds in 3 weeks. But the non-scale victories this week, oh my gosh, pain-free walking, boundary awareness, and stress management. Tracking my progress each day was key this week. Normally when I'm stressed, daily tracking is the first thing to go. But this week I kept it up. And if I hadn't, and instead had let the events batter me, I wonder if I could have even heard my inner wisdom, my butterflydares, over all the noise. It's a valuable tool, and I love being able to share it with you. The Butterflydares habit tracker is linked below. Enjoy. Now for Thursday's toolkit upload, I'm excited to announce that the promised dragon and blood sugar decoding tips will be ready. It runs a little longer than I normally aim for on the toolkit blogs, but the more practical and sustainable tips about calming our appetite seem to me worth a couple of extra minutes. And the appetite and blood sugar decoders that come with it for you. See you next time, butterfly friends. Bye.